Hey, I'm Decathlon Gamer, and this is The Road to the Record, where I work to achieve mastery of 10 games in a hunt for the best score of the Decathlon. If you like what you see, remember to hit that like button. You want to see more? Hit subscribe. Let the games begin. This is Motorsport Manager, and we're on to episode number 8. Our little team that, well, could not. We would have dropped that not from the title before too long, but we're trying to get there. We are heading into Guildford, aka Silverstone, for our next race. But before we can do that, it is time for a new vote. And it's one that I'm very much in support of. And somebody, a certain Moneybags guy who recently went from Williams to Racing Point because he couldn't get what he wanted for his son, so he just bought a whole team. Yeah, that's one way of doing it. He gave me $250,000 for the opportunity to say yes to something I was going to say yes to anyway. So, money under the table. Alright, so I've been bribed to vote in favor of weight stripping. Let's see how it turns out. It looks like a lot of teams are in favor of it. Penalty is not. Christian Horner not having a say, but he's a pretty vocal person out there. It's weird for him to not have a say. Ooh, this is closer than I thought. 2 votes to go. And Claire Williams against. I am for. And there you go. Claire Williams, 2 votes against. Yikes. But it's been approved. Now the big trick is whether I'll still be in F1 next year. One thing I just thought of, though, could be a factor, and I want to take a look at it as we're far enough into the season here for this to really be a thing. And I don't know if it's going to show up or not. And let's see, where is this going to... There we go. Standings, current rules. Because what I'm not sure of is whether there's actually any relegation or not. There might not be relegation in this mod. If there's not, I can just relax and build the team. And yes, we suck this year, but eventually we could be like Alfa Romeo, who Sauber just a few years ago were utter garbage, well off the pace at the back of the field. But the only reason why nobody gave them a hard time like they gave Williams is 1, they didn't have the pedigree of Williams, and 2, Marussia was back there with them. So, they weren't alone. So at least they could, race each other. Let's see here. We have medium lengths, 60-lap races, pit speed limit, very high merit payments, points for top 10, bonus points, white slick tires, Pirelli, free choice, refueling ban, driver's aid ban, promotion bonus payments, teams promoted into the championship, given an additional 25 mil. And standing start. So if there's promotion bonus payments, there's still got to be promotion in there, you would think. So we're back in the sweaty brow moments of this could be difficult. It's going to report Pietro Fittipaldi. Young Fittipaldi, decent driver, but he's only 46% on the marketability, and even that with the famous father. And, oh boy, he's spoiled. Oh, house fire. That actually brings him down a bit from where he actually is. So, decent driver. But, let's get into scouting. We need to fill a gap. I'm less worried about this now that we have our 2 drivers. Good braking. Let's just go ahead and get Enzo as well. Might as well. Enzo's not going to be as strong of a driver either, but new brake facility for Ferrari. Okay, parts. How are we looking at that department? There are new brakes. There are new brakes. So Deegan, going for the good ones. Crone for the average ones. That's an upgrade. That's progress. Now reliability is getting relatively high in a lot of places. And the performance is inching a little bit higher. But it's going to be a long time before we see something other than 23, 24. Double checking kind of the improved parts. A couple parts that are nearly done, and then I'm focusing much more heavily on performance of parts right now. Alright, so we head to the home of most of the teams. And as much as they don't want to call it Silverstone, you can see the airfield that's built on and over, so yeah, it's Silverstone. So by the way, Deegan picked up some sort of negative effect that's going to last for 2 weeks. And already nearly 1 week has ticked by, so depending on when that next race is. Okay, now it's a 51 lap race. Mediums will absolutely get us there. Wow, the hearts will nearly get you all the way there. 17, 35. Well, that's not really going to quite make it 35. So I think what we're going to do is we're going to end up starting on the medium, taking the bonus on the medium, and if we get close enough, there's a safety car. I think we'll put on the softs to try to go to the end, even though we'll take the bonus on the mediums. Now we're looking at pretty heavy effects here, so we want to match. What we were looking at on the other side. Okay, race trim, good. Courtney, let's see if they actually, for a change, thank you, race trim. Say 15 seconds. Okay, downforce, okay. Keep pushing this way, and that already actually gives us a decent look in just 15 seconds of adjustment. Let's go ahead and head out with just that. See where that puts us. 3 light greens. It's all good. Not here so much, is it? Alright. Courtney's going to be in the pits for a little while. By the way, I did a little checking up. Oh, wow. Now Deegan's all good. I did a little checking up on these two drivers just to learn a little bit more about them. So Great was back the other way, so handling needs to go more towards the understeer. And we went from good to good. Well, that's not helpful. Okay, downforce definitely needs to come further. We need to go back the other way on the handling. And then a little more on the downforce. Okay, we'll give that a shot. Looks like Deegan's going to be a little while this time. Anyway, I did a little more checking on these two drivers to learn who they are. And yes, I know, we have a all-female team here. Not something that's normal out there, but Haley Deegan. So her dad is famed X Games gold medalist, multi-gold medalist, multiple events. But a lot of bike stuff, trick work, and otherwise in racing. And we're up to 90%, so we hit excellent on the handling. That's good. Speed balance. Okay, speed balance went the wrong way. So we need to bring that in to the edge. Okay, we've gone from good to great, so we're almost there up here. Keep that locked in. Still think we're going to need a little bit more on that, I believe. But we'll see. Anyway, so yeah, Haley Deegan. She's only 17, and she started racing young thanks to Dad's know-how. And she already won a championship in Lucas Oil off-road trucks. She's been dominant at every level she's been at, and she's up into that like third-tier NASCAR now, where she's already had a few wins. She's like second in the championship, and have a lot of people like Kevin Harvick and others saying that she's like future of the sport. Like she'll definitely be in the Cup Series for NASCAR and dominating that. I used to watch NASCAR, but that was a long time ago. Drive fast, turn left just doesn't do enough for me anymore. Alright, so we're getting close. We're up to 97%. The speed balance right there. And let's see. Make a minor change there and see what we get. But I think we can send her out for a longer run. So anyway, she's been super successful and still just 17. Also on the side that matters on this game, she has every reason to be high on the marketability, as she has had... Ooh, hello, I did not bring in Crone. Okay, we'll bring in Crone this lap. We'll let Deegan run for a while. But she's got huge social media following. She's been doing a lot of those NASCAR talk shows, as they have a lot of stuff going on for their programming, and she's been involved in a lot of that recently, and I was right, needed that little bit more for speed balance, and at 97%, it definitely means we're not quite there yet. Now that pulls me off up there though, and I don't want that. Can I get a little less? There we go. Hey, that's gonna cost me some time, but I think that should just about get us locked in on where we want to be. So we'll send them both out for a long run, and away we go. So a lot of people have faith that Deegan's the real deal. She's good, strong, aggressive driver, and could have a really good career. And a lot of people are saying she's, but going to be the next one up there. Now, Crone, meanwhile, a little bit of a lesser known talent, so surprised that her marketing was quite as high. But dirt track and road track racing is her area of expertise, but definitely not at the same level. So a little surprised that she's got similar ratings, that she's got similar marketability ratings to Deegan. The other driver that we were looking at, Decker. Decker is into the Trucks series, which is like, I guess technically that's the third tier of NASCAR, so I guess Deegan would be in the fourth tier of NASCAR right now. So she is up there. Posh. Bring it in. We got to level 3. We did it. By the way, tire heating at this point is good. Both cars just slightly underneath where the mark is on that, so at least we're able to push a little bit here and there. We only have 350 left, so there's actually not really any point going back out. We're not going to get any bonuses in that time. So we got to 99%. That's good. We'll take that, even though it pushed the handling off 1%. I can squeeze that back, that would be perfect, but the 97 before, 99 now, 99 is better. So we'll keep that setup. Oh, still not quite there for Deegan. Actually, we went the wrong way. 95 from a 97. So we need to bring the downforce back. That's going to be the obvious change. Because the speed balance didn't really change at all. So I will send Deegan back out. I'm not going to change anything though. We're just going to go out and then come back in. Just to make sure we've got it right. There's not enough time for the bonuses, so we'll just focus on getting Deegan set up right here. Okay. That should be a lot closer. 98, we'll take it. And we'll let time expire. We're going to head into a very quick qualifying again, because when you're slow, you're slow. And then we'll get to the race. So it does appear that there is still promotion and relegation. If it is what it is, and we'll have to deal accordingly. But it would be very nice if we do somehow survive relegation, because while it might not happen right away in Season 1, I know we can build this team. I know we can get there. Alright. So, as I mentioned, we're going for the quick route. Last time that worked out in our favor. If you saw the last episode, you might have noted that there was rain during qualifying very suddenly, and we benefited from it and actually got out of Q1 for the first time ever. We were out of the last 2 spots on the grid for the first time ever. You can see here we are over 3 seconds off the pace of the next slowest car, Stoffel Van Dorn. That hurts. 3.5 seconds. Yikes. Vettel was fastest in Q1. See what happens in Q2. Vettel and Leclerc have not a clear edge at all. It is very tight between them, and Hamilton's just 2 milliseconds behind Leclerc there, so very tight in the top. Even Bottas just 1/10 behind. Not sure I've seen lap times that close together for the top 4 in quite a long time. Vettel stays quickest through Q2. Should be the favorite for pole, but will Mercedes use their party mode here in Q3 to steal the show? It's raining! Ho ho! Hello! We have some wet. That changes things, and right now it's all Hamilton, but they go dry just before the end of the session. 1 quick lap, and it's Vettel again. Vettel on pole. Bottas is going to join him on row number 1 with Hamilton and Leclerc on row 2. Verstappen and Gasly in row 3. The Renaults don't both get onto row 4, but they're definitely up there with Perez splitting them. Sainz, Norris, and then Stroll round out your top 12. The one thing I noticed was with the removal of Haas in favor of us, was Haas, wasn't it? Yeah. With the removal of Haas in favor of us, so we replaced Haas by joining the grid. Unfortunately, it would have been nice if they would have taken out Manor or Alpine, as they are the fictional teams. Taking out one of them. But with the removal of Haas, you have a clear top end. And then Alfa Romeo and Toro Rosso kind of, sort of, are there. But you have that real drop-off to these other teams. And so at least they're not scoring points. Problem for me is I'm nowhere near capable of scoring points myself, and that's the real issue for us as we head into the race and start from the back where we always do, besides that last race. So, as mentioned, we're going to go on mediums. We're going to see how long they can go, and if possible, we're going to take our one stopper and actually go onto the softs and see if we get a little more pace out of that instead of going on 2 sets of mediums. But worst case scenario, if the tires don't last, if we have too long to go, we put on the mediums, and it's a simple one stopper from there. So we're going to push. Now we're going to see what we can do on lap 1, where most of the excitement exists for our team, as it seems to for Williams in real life, or at least for Kubica. Russell hangs in there a bit longer. Deegan's got that negative attribute for this race, and so we'll see if that sets her back. These guys all on once used mediums, top 12. And what do we have? Wow, Albin on used hards. Interesting race choice. Kubica as well. Alonso's going for the soft. A lot of drivers on the hard compound. Hopefully that slows them down considerably. Alright, here we go. 5 red lights in Silverstone. We're going to go racing and take the green. Deegan pulls in front of Krohn this time. We'll see if that holds, though, as Deegan is checking up behind the gearbox. And no, Krohn shoots by the outside as Van Dorn blocked Deegan. And Krohn saw a little bit of space and has turned that into 4 positions. Deegan making a move, though, and both cars are ahead of Lewis Hamilton. Lewis Hamilton just re-entered the track in P24. Problem for Hamilton here early on. It does not seem to have a flat or anything, so you will be able to resume racing and will quickly make his way by us and most of the rest of the field. But a terrible start for Lewis Hamilton brings him all the way into last place. Quickly, he overtakes both of my cars, and now Krohn and Deegan are going to battle it out on the front straight. Can Deegan overtake Krohn? Krohn has had the better of Deegan in each of the last 2 races. Besides the finishing position where we fixed Krohn's car before the end of the last one. But yeah, there you go. Deegan and Krohn battling it out here. And Deegan finally completes the pass. They just spent about half a lap side by side. Of course, that is really bad for the time charts as we battle ourselves. But when you're slower than everybody else, at least you can have a little bit of excitement. Sebastian Vettel just overtook Alexander Albon, of all people, for the race lead. And Albon's on the hard compound. Deegan's starting to pull away from Krohn just a little bit. There's a 1 second gap between them, and we are already 5 seconds down on George Russell in 22nd place. We'll see if that rate of loss slows down a little bit, and actually at the moment it has, as we've only lost 0.2 of a second over the first sector of this lap. Now it opens up to 0.5. That's straight, a long straight there. That was a rough one for us. Lose a lot of time on the straight. Just don't have the pace. Okay, and then as we come up on the line, we only lost 1.2 seconds this lap. That is good to see, and hopefully we can keep that sort of pace. But now we need to slow down. Deegan's tires have heated up a bit quicker. Krohn is actually still right in the happy zone, so we'll allow Krohn to push on for now. At the front of the field, where things are a bit more interesting, it's Vettel in the Ferrari on top, and he's pulled away a little bit from Leclerc. Leclerc now up into P2. It's Bottas just behind him in P3, so 1 Mercedes is there. We'll see where Hamilton is here in a little bit, probably trying to make his way through the field. Ricciardo is all the way up to P4. Albon has already dropped to P5 and has a whole bunch of cars just behind him looking to make their way by. So the Toro Rosso, after a tremendous start, is set to go backwards. But for now, he holds off Max Verstappen, and Max Verstappen has a look and completes the pass. Now it's Pierre Gasly looking to have their way with Albon. And we'll ride back just a little bit further as Hamilton still trying to make his way through traffic. Not into the points yet, but already nearly up there. He's got a 0.5 rating right now on form as he had that just awful start to the race. So So we'll ride with him as he continues to make his way up. But Albon's still ahead of Gasly. That's Gasly for you, though. At least the kind of season he's had in real life anyway. Big gap opening between Deegan and Krohn. The gap is now 10 seconds after 3 more laps. So that was, 4 seconds after 3 laps? So yeah, we are actually holding an okay pace to those cars on the hard compound. Kubica, Massa, Van Dorn, Russell. Even really, this whole midfield group, I mean, where we're at with Hamilton, there's only 10 seconds separating him to Russell. So this whole midfield is actually pretty tight together, but really from 16th on back, Jean-Eric Verne, 22 seconds down. That's only 5 seconds separating him to Van Dorn at the back. So that group's a bit tighter. We are certainly off the pace. We're still off the pace, but race pace-wise, with the bonus, the 30% bonus, being on a better tire compound than those guys who are racing on the hard for whatever reason, we're okay-ish. No, we're not. We're still slow. But Hamilton, by the way, up to P8, even though his form has dropped to 0.1. He's still rather ticked off as to what happened with his start. Nobody took a penalty, so certainly can't blame anyone else beside him. But he has overtaken Albon, by the way, so Albon is now down to P9. So after his tremendous start, he's gone backwards, and the front of the field starting to look, well, typical. Not quite, though. Things are still off a little bit. For one, Ricciardo still up in P4, but the Renaults are looking rather competitive. Certainly best of the rest-ish. Hamilton, the one who's on the outside looking in, still from P8, but you can see he closes down Nico Hülkenberg. Getting a bit tighter up to him, and we'll see what Hamilton can do in this race after this terrible start. I mean, he's certainly got himself back up into the points, and you can see he'll get around the Renault before long. He'll probably make his way around the Red Bulls and the other Renault as well, but if Hamilton finishes better than 4th, I would be surprised. He's 13 seconds behind his teammate. He's 20 seconds behind the race leader. And even now, these Renaults, I mean, this closing up on Hülkenberg has been a rather slow affair for Hamilton, as it's taken him at least a couple laps to close him down, just a couple seconds. He certainly has space to get by, but just not quite strong here. So Deegan's having a good race. Krohn continues to drift a little bit further back of Deegan. It's now 5.5 seconds between the two. But I do love the fact that we are still not that far behind. I mean, okay, 16 seconds off of Van Dorn. Yes, that's okay. That's a bit of a gap. But we were at, what were we at? 11 on lap 6. So we've added 5 seconds in 4 laps. That is so much closer than where we've been. Alright, we're going to speed things up a little bit, but just to times 4, not full times 12. We'll see if Hamilton makes the pass on Hülkenberg soon. Presumably it's coming. Hamilton heading through Maggots and Beckett's, and at least Motorsport Manager's version of those. Those low form numbers for Hamilton, the 0.0, he's still been unable to get around Hülkenberg. That is amazing, and he continues to go backwards. His deficit is now at 27 seconds. I mean, he's almost a full half minute behind Vettel, Leclerc. Bottas is still up there as well. Bottas has only lost about 1 second in the span that Hamilton has lost over 6 seconds. So he's an additional 5 seconds behind his teammate from where he was before. Krone has been lapped. I forgot about Krone's tires. That is my bad. More interested in the rest of the race than our own. That's certainly not helping Krone any. Look at her tire wear compared to Deegan's. Well, now Krone will absolutely be going for the two-stopper. Well, not two-stopper. Still one-stopper, but looking for mediums again a second time. Not be putting on the softs. Yeah, Hamilton has never made his way around Hulkenberg, and meanwhile Hulkenberg is dropped back quite a bit. We're going to start to get cars coming in for their pit stops. Lando Norris actually has just made his first stop of the race. Apparently his form is looking real good as on the fresh soft tires. Norris starting to make his way through the field. He will definitely pit again though. Those softs will not go anywhere near the distance. So he's not going the distance. He's not going for speed. And somewhere she's all alone. All alone in her time of need. Carlos Sainz has crashed. Sainz has crashed. Sainz. Already back in the garage. So as we looked on board with one McLaren, the other McLaren crashed. And so has Nico Hulkenberg. Ooh, I wonder if the pressure of Hamilton has caused Nico Hulkenberg to make a mistake. But the Renault is out of this race. And just like that, we're going to move up 2 positions in this one. 2 positions gained. No bonuses today, so 19th doesn't matter anymore. Cars are starting to make their pits as well. Stroll has already pit. Gasly pit and came out in P7 ahead of Albon. So he opened up quite the gap as things really got going. Bottas in and out of the pits, and he'll come out in P5. Okay, put you back on neutral. How close are we to getting lapped again? Not that close. And by the way, we are not lapped by the back end of the field just yet, but it's about to happen. Now, what I would love to see is Vettel make his way around to Jean-Eric Vergne. Lap Vergne, who's in 13th, so looking at the mini-map, Vergne is in 13th. Vergne is behind Krone. If Vettel can get that far, and then full course caution come out, I'd be a very happy man. Because they'd all be a lap down, I'd be a lap down, and I'd be back level with all of those cars, and I could take a free pit stop while I'm at it. And at this point, we'd be able to go to the end on the medium compound, and we'd have ourselves a little bit more of a race than we have now. That's about to change though, as Krone is about to get further down, but maybe we can push out a little bit further and just hang on for Deegan as Krone's struggling anyway. I'd be very happy with full course caution. That gap now over 50 seconds. So ultimately it's been 2 seconds per lap that we have lost in this one. Bottas, by the way, is up to P2 as Leclerc has pit and came out behind Bottas. So Bottas with the undercut overtakes Leclerc, and Vettel comes out of the pits battling with Bottas. He's going to re-overtake him. Bottas has been out for a little while. His tires are already fairly used up, and they're all on the soft, so they're all going to have to stop a second time. That's one thing going for us, is that we are at least going to make the one-stop strategy work. Krone is going to have to pit here pretty soon, though. She's down to 23% on the wear. She did just pass the halfway point. Let's go ahead and bring her in this lap before these tires go off the cliff. And there you go. We'll stay with Krone for now while she heads into the pits. Now, the tire wear, largely my bad because I kept her on push way too long. But these tires will make it to the end. And she comes back out in, last place, because that's where she was anyway. Deegan lasts a little bit longer, but it's looking like Deegan will have to stay on the mediums as well, as I don't think we're going to get close enough to put on softs. I have no bonus for that anyway, so... Now in terms of lapping, where are we? Vettel has lapped down through 19th, so there's at least Van Doren and Alonso on the same lap as I am right now. So I'd still be happy with that safety car anytime now. Anytime. Right now it's still Vern, but it's now 14th. That is behind Deegan. So I would love to get Vettel between as many of those cars and I, and then have that safety car come out. Ooh. Giovinazzi on fresh medium tires just made his way around Vern and us. They're both ahead of me now. So now we're looking at 16th at best on that. Hopeful. And here comes Bottas, who's now the race leader, by the way. It is not Vettel anymore. Bottas has passed Sebastian Vettel and has a couple seconds on him. So the Mercedes into the race lead. Meanwhile, Hamilton is still only P7, but he has caught Pierre Gasly, and I just got lapped again. So there goes my high hopes of surviving. It's going to have to go all the way around again, and these guys are about to lap me as Van Doren and Alonso are getting closer. And Deegan, well, she needs to pit. So our one and only chance of making a race out of it, coming down to a safety car, has failed, and Deegan heads into the pits, conceding that we will once again finish as the last two cars on the grid. Still like that our pace is a little bit better. We're not quite as far off the pace as we've been of late. Then again though, we're almost 100 seconds behind. Oh, there you go. It's a little better with Jean-Eric Verne just pitting. We're 90 seconds behind Verne in 33 laps. That's not good. But Verne was all the way up in, 13th? Just a little bit ago? So hopefully after the likes of Van Doren, Russell, Massa pit, Kubica pit, they'll drop back a bit further. And then we'll be closer again, because we're 100 seconds behind Van Doren, but Van Doren has not pit. We have. That looks more like 3 seconds a lap right now. But if you take away that pit delta, close it down, if we're only 60 seconds behind, well, we're still only just inside 2 seconds a lap, apparently. So our pace dropped off a bit. Also, our fuel load not looking so good, and where is the leader? Oh, we'll get lapped again fairly soon. But let's go ahead and do something about that a little bit. Krone. Serve a little bit of fuel here. It's kind of a double-edged sword. It's nice to be lapped and save fuel so you could push hard. But then there's the whole being lapped thing. That's the other edge on that sword. I'd rather not be lapped. I'd rather have to conserve fuel and just race and, stay on the lead lap or stay just maybe one lap down. It'd be nice to not be lapped frequently. Alright, it's right on board with Krone as Krone gets lapped by the race leader. That was Bottas just going by, and that puts Krone pretty much back on par fuel-wise for now. And actually, we do need to keep an eye out. We might not get lapped again. Let's bring you down a notch. Deegan, though, Deegan's got an issue with fuel. Deegan will get lapped relatively soon. Let's see, that is Albon finally pitting. That's going to be Albon's first pit heading in this lap. So those on the hard compound are heading there. We've got yellow, sector 2. Nothing coming of it. There was something there for a second. I think somebody spun. I didn't see who. You might have noticed. Hamilton, by the way, has finally gotten around Ricciardo. And another yellow in Sector 2, and we have Leclerc. Leclerc was cleared. He's not going to pick up a penalty, but he does have a flat. And Leclerc has to come in and puts on the hard compound with only 10 laps left. You're crazy, Ferrari. You really do not like Charles Leclerc, do you? You do not want him to succeed as long as you still have Sebastian Vettel on your team, or so it seems. They derail him over and over and over again. Be nice if more cars DNF'd. Especially, some of these others. We have another yellow in Sector 1. And Leclerc has a mechanical issue now. So Leclerc, who literally just... Ooh. He is smoking bad. Down to 6th place already. And he's heading back towards the garage now. We'll see if it's a pit stop or if he's done. Alonso has a mechanical issue as well. Leclerc is fixing the part. Slow pit stop. Comes out in P12. All the way down, out of the points for now. I could see him getting back up there though. Raikkonen, Kvyat. We'll get around those guys. Kvyat still hasn't even pit. We got another yellow in Sector 2 here as Leclerc already back up to 11th. That didn't take long. And now 10th. And Kvyat heading into the pits now. We'll check that one. Quick pit stop. His form is down. He's struggling today. And it's down to P14. Okay, now Alonso has pit twice, and Alonso had an issue. So Deegan is now 90 seconds behind Alonso. So that is our closest rival with just 5 laps left in this race. Fuel. Deegan, are you going to get lapped anytime soon? You already got lapped. Oh man. Yeah, back off. Low fuel. Deegan, maybe it's time to concede. You're going to pit, and you're going to fix the car. So we're going to put on soft tire, and we're just going to fix the car, even though actually the car is looking pretty nice. But yeah, we have no fuel. So instead of running you out of fuel completely, we will save the time and fix. You don't necessarily need to fix both cars to save time. So after each race is done, you have time where your crew has to repair the parts that are on the car already before they can then go back to other factory work. So your factory drivers. Hamilton just spun, by the way, and Deegan's still in the pits. I'd like to see what's going on everywhere else, but there we go. Bottas just overtook Vettel apparently for the race lead. After losing a lap and a half, Deegan comes out just behind Krone. So Bottas has the race lead. Vettel is only 1 second behind. Kvyat has spun. So a lot of cars spinning out here late in this race. Bottas hanging on. Leads down to 7/10 though. Hamilton just got fastest lap from P6. Ooh, Ricciardo got back ahead because of the one-stop strategy. Verstappen hanging on too, but Verstappen on the one-stopper is 10 seconds down, so Verstappen won't make it. It's the final lap of the race. Lap traffic. Holding things up. And Deegan also, I want to see this battle. Deegan on the fresh tires, coming in, replacing things, is going to make her way around Krone. It's not for position as she's a lap down after fixing the parts, but she does make her way. So Bottas wins the race. It is Vettel in second. Max Verstappen is going to finish off the podium in P3. And Daniel Ricciardo for Renault comes in P4 in this one. Hamilton in P5, not far behind, but does split Gasly at the end. So Hamilton does a good job to finally get back up there into a somewhat respectable position after that terrible start. After all of Leclerc's problems, he drops to P7. Now we were less far behind than we've been, but only slightly. So we're still quite a ways off. We are definitely still quite a ways off. Now, Deegan lost that a lap and a half. So, I mean, you look and 2 laps down compared to everybody else, but really it was only a lap and a half down for Deegan, besides my fuel mistake there, taking the extra pit stop and fixing everything on the car now so we don't have to fix it over the weekend. We're coming out of the weekend anyway. Ooh, Leclerc got a 10-second penalty as well. Lando Norris, Jean-Eric Verne. Nobody demoted, so points stay true. Vettel leads the championship by 4 points over Bottas. Verstappen slips to 3rd, but just 9 points separating the top 3 drivers. Hamilton all the way down in 4th. Remember, Hamilton won the last race, but had a faulty part on there, found cheating, Mercedes, and he was relegated all the way to last place. So 25 points were lost in that race. Otherwise, he'd be right up there as well. Ricciardo, though, 5th place in the championship, and then there's Leclerc with what we've already noted. Ferrari seemed to be hanging him out to dry big time as a second driver. And then Gasly well behind Verstappen, even though Gasly hasn't had issues. So that's looked pretty realistic in a lot of ways, other than Hamilton's issues. Still have those 3 teams that are well off the pace, in addition to us, but we are just well off their pace even, so it's going to be really hard. It's all zeros, so if I can start getting ahead of them somehow, if we can have a higher finish at some point, we could technically overtake those teams and not get relegated if they continue to not score points, just like us. We don't necessarily have to score points to avoid relegation. We're just going to have a higher finish at some point than one of these guys, so some sort of crazy race, lots of DNFs, and especially those teams being part of that DNF, because otherwise we're always just at the back of the grid. One thing that's unfortunate is every race I get this disappointing race minus marketability as we're at the back of the grid. Oof. Neither driver improving this race? That sucks. We're not bleeding money, but it definitely doesn't look good on that one. But that's going to do it for this episode. I'm Decathlon Gamer. And remember, I'm aiming for the best of the best. So if you're ready to join me on my journey, hit subscribe and tune in next time on my Road to the Record. Bye for now.